welcome you today. My name is John Crisafulli. I'm honored to be the moderator of today's event. Today is actually a very special day. I met Mr. Duvi Honig going back at least 5 years at Bell Labs, an unbelievable, amazing event. And I learned about how he organizes and builds communities through commerce and industry. And I learned that from Mr. Honig that when he started the Orthodox Jewish Chamber, it was after the recession. Being successful in business and real estate, he wanted to give back. And he started that with that vision. And for years, we celebrated holidays like Labor Day, which we still do. But what do we do on Labor Day? We don't work. Well, Duvi says, Governor Murphy, and other distinguished dignitaries, we need an economic development day that we can celebrate economic development. And everyone here today, because of you, that's being carried out. I want to thank Duvi Honig, the founder of the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce, for that idea, and our Governor Murphy. And you'll be hearing today from first Deborah Cornavaca, Governor Murphy's Chief of Staff, will be giving opening remarks. So thank you, Duvi. Thank you very much. It's important that we work together. I am the president and founder of Central Ocean Business Association. Also, I do business development for the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce. We work together, we build communities through commerce. I represent with Business Association, Central Ocean Business Association, 6 towns in Ocean County, from S.Toms River, where we are right now, all the way down to Forked River. And we work with many towns, and Duvi helps with that direction with this idea of this event. So we're all part of that today. And again, I thank you all for coming. From the governor's office, as I mentioned, we have Deborah Cornavaca, Governor Murphy's Chief of Staff, here for opening remarks. Deborah, thank you.
Testing.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It is a true honor to be here. I think for purposes of the record, though, I'd like to clarify that I'm Deputy Chief of Staff, and I serve under the pleasure of Governor Murphy and George Helmy, Chief of Staff. We are thrilled to be here today to celebrate Economic Development Day and to honor the work that you do together to stimulate economic growth, activity, employment, ingenuity, and innovation. And if I might, the governor has asked me to bring a special message for Duvi Honig. So if you would indulge me, I will be reading a proclamation the governor has prepared for him. Whereas Duvi Honig is recognized for his tireless work, dedication, and steadfast commitment to the success, wellness, growth, and development of New Jersey's business and Garden State community as a whole. And whereas Duvi Honig is an energetic and visionary entrepreneur who is devoted to ensuring diverse business opportunities and services that serve to enhance commerce, education, and job creation throughout New Jersey and beyond. And whereas Duvi Honig is the founder and CEO of the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce, a global umbrella of diverse businesses of all sizes, where its members and the broader community are empowered and supported throughout various businesses, professions, and community networking opportunities, initiatives, tools, and services. And whereas Duvi Honig has built a world-class network focused on the prospect of advancing professional and business growth, innovation, and commerce by providing chamber members, businesses, and community-based organizations with resources and tools that include connecting them with professional guidance, services, and opportunities. And whereas each year, the annual JBiz and Business Conference, the Chamber's flagship project and wide-ranging business-to-business networking event, hailed as the largest of its kind, attracts hundreds of businesses, participants, and attendees from around the world. And whereas Duvi Honig has been instrumental in promoting collaborative strategies, initiatives, and programs that serve to strengthen commerce and economic development. And whereas Duvi Honig's work and visionary approach to fostering commerce and economic development has been recognized by leading businesses, community, and bipartisan groups as invaluable contributions to our global community. And whereas Duvi Honig inspired and envisioned the empowerment of a designated Economic Development Day. And whereas in the state of New Jersey, the second Monday in May is recognized as New Jersey's Economic Development Day. Whereas as governor, I commend Duvi Honig for his endless support and far-reaching contributions to New Jersey economic, social, and cultural fabric and our greatest society. Now, therefore, I, Philip D. Murphy, governor of the state of New Jersey, do hereby recognize Duvi Honig for his dedication and commitment to the success, strengthening, and advancement of economic development in New Jersey. Signed by Governor Murphy.
I'm going to take a quick picture. Lyle, you can come up. Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to introduce our panelists before we start the panel, but there are dignitaries in the room that I would like to announce. Again, this is a networking event for you to meet key players, people to do business with, people to help open up doors. If I miss you, I apologize. There's a lot of people in the room, but I know him from attending COBA events. He would attend our events, supporting them, actually at an event right nearby in Beechwood. I remember the place. And that's Ben Giovine, the district director for Congressman Andy Kim, is here as well. Make sure you know who Ben is. Next to Ben also is Sandra Lazaro, the division director of the County of Ocean for Ocean County Business Development and Tourism, Sandra Lazaro. Next to Sandra, Louisa Casper is the president of Central Ocean Business Association. Okay. I see Michael Frisella. He is also with Ocean County College, Business Engagement. Okay. In the middle here, we have the mayor of Lacey Township, also Ocean County Health Department, Peter Corotolo. We have the president and board director, Anthony. Would you introduce the president of the Jackson Chamber of Commerce?
Steve Chisholm, president of the Jackson Chamber of Commerce. Hello.
Thank you. In the back there, I see David Rosenberg, the founder, executive director of the New Jersey Jewish Business Alliance. We're going to now introduce our panelists. Most important is someone who called me and said, John, we have an appointment. We need to do an event. And I think you need to get involved in it. I said, well, who's organizing the event? Who are the people? He says, Duvi, Honig. I said, go ahead, I'm in. Tell me where and when. He says, in S.Toms River. And that's Joseph Kostecki, the borough administrator of S.Toms River. Joe's been involved with COBA since day one, supporting local business and engagement. I want to then introduce our congressman for our state of New Jersey. Is Congressman Andrew Kim is here today. Thank you, Congressman. Also from day one, he speaks at our COBA events, he helps us, he leads us, drives tourism, business in our county for many years. And he's just all about everything. It started in roots of education, and that's Commissioner Director Joe Vicari. And at the end, we have the mayor of this great town of S.Toms River is Mayor Greg Handshy, and Greg has been involved with COBA, supporting local business for many years. Mayor Greg, thank you. Okay, next we have a gentleman that inputted a system. He's the CEO of Municipal Cards, LLC. You have to learn about this system. You have to meet him and speak to him. Is Ellie Weingarten. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start the panel. I have several questions here, and I would ask for you to offer the answer when I raise it up. And any remarks, for that from the congressman, I would ask you to send remarks about today's event. You're here representing us, you represent our state. So any remarks before we start the panel, I'd appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it's so great to be able to come together to be able to do this. I don't really have anything too deep to go into because I think it'd be good for us to be able to jump into the questions, but I just really appreciate just the spirit that brings us together here. And I think that, now more than ever, we need to make these types of commitments to be able to look out for our economic development throughout Ocean County, throughout our state of New Jersey. We are obviously pulling through a very difficult time, and there's a lot of uncertainty about what happens next. And, we really want to make sure that we're all firing at all cylinders here as best as we can to be able to get through this. Not only in terms of being able to stabilize ourselves through this pandemic, but to really have a vision for what happens next, where we're trying to get to. And I think that's something I'm very excited to be able to join the panelists here to be able to discuss. So I just appreciate the hard work in putting this together. I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you. Next, I would like to ask for opening remarks from our commissioner. I always say freeholder director, and I apologize. Got to get used to it. Commissioner Joseph Vicari.
Thank you very much, John. You know, it's my pleasure to be here today to share a very, very important event, and I'll tell you why. As you know, I'm the longest serving freeholder in the history of the state of New Jersey. We have some serious issues right now. And that issue right now is how do we get Ocean County and the state of New Jersey back on its feet again? The most important thing that we do, and as you know, I'm an educator for many, many years, is opportunities. There's nothing more important than the American dream. And that's what we're doing here today, shoulder to shoulder. I appreciate the support of Governor Phil Murphy, our Congressman, Kim that's over here today, the mayor, giving us this opportunity of S.Toms area, and everyone else, because it goes to show this is an American initiative that we're doing today. We want to put not only people to work again, but support the most important part of the Jersey Shore in the United States, small businesses. 98% of all of the businesses are small businesses in our area. And we work, not as Democrats or Republicans or whatever the case may be, we work together because we know the importance of putting people back to work. You know, in Ocean County, we have a population of 600,000. In a couple of weeks, we'll be up to 1.3 million people. And right now, the biggest issue we have is working together, not pointing fingers and saying, you know something, we have a lot of jobs. We have a lot of businesses that need employees, men and women, of all ages. And what we want to do is to make sure that we get them back into work. A lot of businesses are having difficulty opening it up. And that's what this is all about today. What can we do to solve problems? Everyone at this table is a problem solver. Many times there's issues. I work very closely not only with our congressman and the governor of the state of New Jersey, but Duvi Honig many times says, look, what can we do with new technology, with new things that are being invented all the time? So again, I appreciate you not only inviting me today, but tell us the things that we can do, not only today, but we have our staff people that are here today to give us a call. We work 7 days a week. We never rest, and our goal is the one thing, to make Ocean County and Monmouth County what it should be. We will never give up. We went through the great superstorm, but this, in my opinion, is tough. There are no bookends on this. We don't know where it's going to go. I'm very optimistic, and again, I thank you for the initiative of coming here today, giving us support, and really the most important thing is sharing your time, which is very important, and going back to your business and going back to your friends and say, you know something, we care about the people we represent. We care about the future that takes place, not just 2021, 2023, 24, and all the way up for the next 10 years. And that's what we're playing today, the next 10 years of the economy of Ocean County. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, before we start the questions to the panel, I am going to ask the person who created this event, the idea of Economic Development Day, Duvi Honig, for some remarks.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Joe. And thank you, Congressman. And thank you, Deborah, Deputy Chief of Staff of the Governor, coming out today, and the Mayor, and Joe Vicari, and everyone who's involved in organizing this, and our sponsors for hosting us, and our photography. Everyone's here to give back. I just want to point out, I'm not sure anyone over here is being paid for anything. This is all goodwill. This is all community uniting our resources to be able to get together and empower each other. New Jersey Economic Development Day is a vision that's worked on for many years. I remember George Helmy came to my office when he was working for Cory Booker, just got reelected. Cory texted me at night at 3, 4 in the morning, he won. The next day, he sent George on the train to come to Lakewood to sit with me about my Economic Development Day vision. And first we were thinking bigger. I was thinking on a national level, and George says, no, Duvi, let's do it on a state level. Spent years being able to craft it. We had legislators, we had on both sides of the party, state senators involved, and assemblymen, And during the cabinet, the political Democrat, Republican, we had New Jersey unity. All the state senators and all the assembly members voted in favor of this passage because commerce unites people. Commerce brings people together. New Jersey Economic Development Day is a vision of having a day that's proactive, that when we celebrate Labor Day, everyone can take off. Today is a statement. Today's event, where we're here today, where we have such a representation from Washington, from the governor's office, from mayors, from locals, and from Joe Vicari, from the commissioners. Every every level of government is here today to say we are here to make a difference, to be able to be innovative. We all witnessed COVID-19, how destructive it was, but at the same time, we all witnessed how strong we are when we unite and get together. So I just want to finish with a short statement of saying that today's event and everyone participating in today's event has a hand in the future of other communities who this is a role model, this community, a small size event, not an overpowering, not an event that's too overwhelming, but if every community in the state of New Jersey once a year hosts events as such, thinks about how can I job creation, business development, we give platforms to the local small businesses to display their businesses. They don't have HR companies, they don't get overwhelmed, but if everyone has a place to bring those jobs, people are seeking jobs will find it. If people have new services, help businesses, on this state we put it out together, we find and be able to help people. The state, the federal levels of sharing their resources on this day, even though they do such great work throughout the year, but working throughout the year to accumulate it and say, okay, here's a one simple way that people have access to it and know what we did over the whole year, helps empower people. And of course, one other thing about this day is to be able to ask every township and every county to use the Economic Development Day for resetting, stress testing their programs. And this is what I'm going to finish with. How important it is since the recession when we started the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce. I went around building networks, and I always thought that eventually we'll put them together. There's so many services that people will help themselves. But the more I went around, the more I saw how the world keeps on developing, and we're not up to date. And many programs that are expired, absolute, are still running and using state dollars and federal dollars only because there's no stress tests to be able to say, and new programs can't be started because we don't have dollars set aside to allocate it for it. But if we once a year do stress tests, okay, these programs, did they produce? What happened? Okay, let's eliminate this and create a new one. With those dollars, we are going to find dollars to be able to be in touch with the rapid advancement of technology, of the new business world, of the millennium world, and not fall behind, but go ahead. And yes, replace all people who already aren't, or reassign them to other divisions where they can still use their strengths. But we have to bring in fresh blood. We have to be able to have dollars to be able to start new programs, and of course, eliminate programs that aren't up to date with today's business world. And if by using this day as that platform, I really believe will stimulate our economy annually billions and billions of dollars of revenue, and job creation and business development. And I would like to call upon corporate America, corporate businesses in every community, local banks, local businesses who give back randomly. They throw dollars here and there, and it's not structured. As being involved in economic development, I witness it myself, seeing how many dollars they spend it because they want to show they're doing something, but they don't know what they're doing. We want those dollars to be most effective. Those dollars you have allocated to be able to give back to the community. to be able to do it in a structured way, host events on New Jersey Economic Development Day next year, promote people to be able to take on one person to find a job, take on one person to try business, to try to help, try to mentor people, try to make a difference however you can give back. And if everyone in every community on small levels does this, on the biggest level, we're going to have the biggest success from all states. And I'm thankful to Governor Murphy for recognizing this, signing it into law, legislation, and of course for the proclamation that Deborah brought me, was really touched on. It was a surprise. And I really look forward to working with the governor's office, building teams and committees of business leaders to be able to unite and work with us, similar to what we did now with the governor's restarting the New Jersey committee, what I was part of, and we made a big difference. Thank you, Deborah. Helping businesses, just being a voice, hearing what they need, and starting businesses, seeing what's first, second, third, and really made a difference, saving thousands of jobs. And by being able to unite and use from that team business people who are on that committee, and I would like to be able to invite them to join New Jersey Economic Development. We're able to look in every industry, whether it's health, medical, technology, business, small businesses, and see what does everyone need. And by that, set goals throughout the year, how to be able to address it on New Jersey Economic Development Day, and be able to come out at that day with solutions to empower everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Duvi. Thank you. Okay. We do want to acknowledge Adrenaline Sports Academy for letting us have this space. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful, wonderful space. If you're not already familiar, in the hall after the panel, you can network in private rooms. It's set up perfectly. There's an outdoor kitchen. You can't cook in the kitchen, but there's tables for you to do some networking together, private rooms as well. Take advantage of that space. And then 5:30, there is beautiful pizza coming. 20 pizzas are coming. I think that'll be enough for all of us. Okay, Michael, only one slice for you.
John, kosher.
It's kosher pizza. I endorse it. I am Johnny C, the pizza guy. I'm a pizza critic as well, besides a banker. But it's called Pizza on Wheels. It's a great pizza. And it'll be here about 5:30, nice and hot. I told them, got to be hot. Okay, so I'm going to ask my first question, and I will be watching the panelists. If you can just raise your hand to answer the question, I'd appreciate it. First question is, the current economy has shown opportunity for new business startups. What advice do you have for someone who's interested in opening a new business, or what resources are available for those seeking to start or have started a new business? The economy has shown an opportunity for new business startups, as we are aware. What advice do you have for someone looking to open a new business, or what resources are available for those seeking to start or have started a new business? If anyone can answer that question, I'd appreciate it. Congressman, yes.
Yeah, look, I'll jump in real quick on this one, and then others probably have more wisdom than me. But look, the main thing is about helping people identify, their lane, helping identify what opportunities are out there, what gaps that they might be able to fill, and whether or not there's a market for what it is that they're trying to do. So there are lots of different ways in which we can draw upon help to be able to do that. Obviously, there's a lot of great Chamber of Commerces and others that can help kind of think this through. Different resources that are out there. I know the EDA does a lot at the federal level. SBA has different organizations and opportunities. But Ben from my team, we do a lot to try to talk to new business owners about some of the resources that are out there to help build up a business plan, help try to identify using data, what the market is, how to be able to best kind of position it for success, as well as looking at just some of the toughest issues that are coming up, which is about access to capital. Is there access to capital there? And yes, SBA at the federal level has different resources that again we can go through. So feel free to contact our office and other resources across the state. But those are some of the things that come to mind.
Thank you, Congressman. Anyone else want to offer? Joe.
Thank you. From a local perspective, right? If you're going to be coming into a municipality, The federal aspect doesn't really coalesce with us. We need to find out what we can do to recognize you as a local vendor, how to welcome you in with ease, whether it's permitting, removing some permitting, whether it is a direct meeting with a local official, whether it's zoning to make sure that you may have the right business model, but you might be in the wrong zone. And all of a sudden you're building or want to build a business in the wrong zone that doesn't allow your business, right? So from a local perspective, come and see us, come talk to us, right? A conversation is worth, it's $1 million on a local small business, let's call it that, why not? But for now, I mean, come and see us, right? I mean, this is the part of the conversation. We're networking. The conversation can start here if you wanted to. Otherwise, come and see myself and Maria at Borough Hall. Know what you want, know who to contact, and if you don't, just come and see us and we'll put you in the right direction. We want to make sure we can drive local business to your business, right? Not anywhere else. We work with Eli Weingarten right here with our estate card to ensure that there's a buy local campaign to assist in purchasers and everybody going to your local store as well. So there's a coordinated effort, but it all starts with a conversation, just like this.
Thank you very much, Joe. Yes, Commissioner.
I think one of the most important things that we do in Ocean County is job training. One of the things I've done as an educator and also as a commissioner is training not only for jobs for today or next year, but jobs for the future. We have the most sophisticated Ocean County vocational school in the state of New Jersey and in the United States by winning awards. We have special academies that we can train our young men and women, and sometimes they're not young men and women. Sometimes the middle-aged people are saying, you know something, I want to improve myself. I want to go to the next level. We do that with the vocational school, with Ocean County College. We have representatives that are here today, with King University. We work with the labor unions as far as training, the Workforce Investment Board. And we have one of the largest library systems in the state of New Jersey, where what we do is offer opportunities. We raise people's vision. You can do it. You can improve. Technology is changing faster now than ever before in the history of the world. And what are we doing? We grasp that moment. We understand that. And that's why the representatives that are here today have a great understanding of what we have to do. If we have good training, if we are proficient in different skills, and if we are talented, they will come. Corporations will come here. Commerce will come here. Because what they're looking for is a trained workforce. Not just for solving problems, but for everything along that line. We can't tell you what's going to happen in 4 or 5 years, but I'll tell you what I'll do. We will train a workforce that can seize the moment. And that's what's extremely important. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Deborah, yes.
The Congressman was kind enough to mention the Economic Development Authority, and I just wanted to say that under Governor Murphy, the EDA has become laser focused at supporting small business innovation, fostering innovation, and removing barriers. And that removing barriers means everything from making sure the information and applications for support are in multiple languages, but that we're also taking a look at access to capital and to credit and all those pieces that allow someone to start up a business. So we really do encourage everybody to look at what the Economic Development Authority has to offer, the services and the expertise. The advice I would give is to do your research and to seek out the expertise of people with experience. Come to local chambers, go to the public libraries. I love that advice because they're very involved in fostering economic development and expertise, job training, and will direct you towards resources. So do your research, seek out experience, and amongst those, we would encourage you to look at the Economic Development Authority, which knows that the small businesses are the heart and soul of our communities, and they're also so critical to families, bringing up wealth, lifting up wealth, and passing on generational wealth. So I just wanted to add those pieces. Thank you.
Well, yes, Duvi, yes.
I would like to just add that all these great programs and Governor Phil Murphy made it so accessible to be able to, if you master networking, not master, but you just ask and you network and you ask around, the governor made it very accessible to be able to, through the right people who are appointed in every community, the governor has people who he appointed that are able to get you answers from the state, from the Economic Development Authority, if you can't reach, if you don't have. Now, in general, networking is key. I feel so many problems and so many businesses and dollars lost and businesses failing only because they don't know. I recently met a business who didn't get a PPP loan. He didn't know how to do it. People don't know how to ask. People just think that they think there's no solutions out there when there are. And I strongly encourage people and business owners to ask, to go network. Don't say, what am I going to network? Who am I going to meet? It's not pre-planned networking. It's unknown. You never know who you're going to meet, where you're going to meet. I mean, look, for argument's sake, today, look what we have over here. We have the most powerful room most probably in the state of New Jersey today. We have the governor, deputy chief of staff, we have the congressman, we have the freeholders, the mayors. I mean, you know, we have. Just ask your questions. We are here to answer your questions. Presidents of Chamber of Commerce are here, big ones. Jobs are here. Just go out and network. Now that we're reopening the economy, you know, we're really going to work our best with the governor's office and with the congressman and everyone to be able to see how we could accelerate networking events now to make up, and of course with the new business world to be able to show solutions and new resources and bring it out to the community and businesses in the quickest way possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Duvi. So my next question has been answered. It was what programs or partnerships can be tapped into right now, and that's been answered. So I'm going to move on to the next. The recent industry trends during the pandemic have shown to be digitization, responsible business, good employership, finance, alternative funding, tech, marketing, and social media. Do you agree this is the new normal? And have you seen different trends locally coming out of the pandemic? Yes.
I guess this is my opportunity here. So it's an interesting topic. In my personal belief, and also from what I've seen, as we are very much in communication with local business, especially here in South Toms River and Toms River, and with the public in general. Just some background, we are contracted as the administrator of the estate card program. For those who are not familiar, the estate card program is a tax savings and economic development program specifically launched to kind of bridge that gap between physically being on Main Street and being able to represent the small business, to be able to represent themselves to the public at large, the residents, as well as facilitate the abilities for people to help reduce their property tax burden. I'll get into in a second a little more specific about it. But to your question on hand, so I believe that many of the consequences of the virus that we've resulted with will go away. Some will stay, but there's a bit of a pendulum swing. There have been new conditionings that people have been a victim of that will last. But by and large, I think people will go back to what they were used to pre the pandemic. That being said, the pandemic has brought out some of the shortcomings that have been felt within New Jersey over the last while. It's kind of aggravated those things and brought them to a head. And one of those big ones is that small businesses are not being utilized as they used to be. Small businesses are the backbone to our country, and especially in New Jersey here, as the Commissioner said earlier, 98% of businesses in New Jersey are small businesses. Throughout the country, it's actually 99.9% of businesses are small businesses. And as people utilize online services like we have during the pandemic, it has taken away a lot of the dollars that we need locally. And to have a sustainable economy, you need money going into the local economy. Here in South Toms River, in partnership with Toms River, as this was identified just before the pandemic, how do we help drive local sales and condition people to shop locally, not just utilizing the convenience of online? And what was brought to the local community was a program called the Estate Card Program. It's a prepaid debit card that anybody can sign up for. And when they use that locally, they earn a great level of reward, which that reward is paid down towards their property taxes. So for the resident, it allows them to help reduce the tax burden. but at the same time, it incentivizes them to shop locally. So it's a platform, it's like an online Main Street that somebody who is in town could be on, where the residents will see them. They have the ability to communicate now with the local residents. One thing we saw during the pandemic is that there was very limited ability for the local businesses to communicate with the local residents. Same thing with local government being able to communicate with local businesses and vice versa. So by this program being utilized, it allows for there to be a communication between the small businesses and the residents. It motivates the residents to shop at your local businesses and help recondition them post the pandemic to come back into the stores themselves. So I guess in summary, I think some of the things that have happened over the pandemic will stay. A great majority will default back to the way it was. The way it was wasn't necessarily perfect. And as far as the prior question, which Duvi kind of answered, as far as programs that exist, this is a big one that there should not be a local business in town that's not a part of. A quick plug for local businesses to join this platform, be promoted by S.Toms River, Toms River. You're going to want to go to localcardrewards.com. You can easily onboard yourself as a merchant. For residents themselves, if you go to South Toms River estatecard.com, you can sign up to the program. If you're in Toms River, it's tomsriverestatecard.com, and I'll leave it at that.
Really, thank you. Thank you.
The trend in South Toms River was very different because we went through a very strong food shortage. We had to shift all of our resources in the pandemic to allocate for a mobile food bank. This is something we've never done before. And just like the pandemic, we just had to go with it, and you had to roll with it as quickly as possible and help out the community. So we shifted our entire government essentially, one, online, and two, Fridays we were handling food. The digitalization is absolutely going to continue. I don't see that going away whatsoever. I see it being enhanced more, maybe with a hybrid for those people who want more in person, who are sick of the Zoom calls, right? When we had our borough closed, we are going to be opening up very soon. And what we did is we have Google Government. We shifted everything online, and heck, I can run the entire government from a different state. And it's something that we were able to do right away because of this digitization. That's going to happen. The responsible business aspect, that's going to continue because everybody needs a responsible business. People want to have that work-life compromise, right? You want to work for a business or employer that represents you and honors you, as well as is a good business partner to yourself, your community, your family. But it's something that it's a right fit, right? So those things are going to work continually. I don't think anybody doesn't want a good business in their town. So yeah, those trends are going to continue. But it's a different trend, I think, than the county and nationally speaking.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I think one of the greatest assets that we have in our county in Jersey Shore is the diversity that we have in thinking, diversity that we have in different people. I think we're very fortunate in living close to the New York metropolitan area, the Philadelphia area, where that is the center of commerce for not only the United States, but for the world. So we get all those people that can come over here. What we have to do, and we are doing it now, is raising the vision of our students in school, our youngsters. That's why it's so important for them to get back to school. We have outstanding teachers, educational institutions. And what we are doing now, we've been doing it continuously. As you know, I'm a former superintendent of schools in the Berkeley Township school system, and change is good. Accept change, embrace it, seize the moment. And that's what's very, very important. The thinking that we did today is not going to take place several years from today. And what we have to do is to build on that foundation. The foundation that we do in Ocean County and Monmouth County and Burlington County is extremely, very, very important. So this is only a starting point. And what we have to tell not only our students that are in school, people in business, this is only the start. The best days are yet to come. I know it's very depressing sometimes. For the last year, you stayed in your house, you didn't get out, and I know what it was all like But you know something? We're ready to break out. We have all of that energy. You have the opportunity. You live in the greatest nation in the world, where you can be anything that you want to be. And what we have to say is that not only to seize the moment, but be the best that you can. And how do you do it? Look at the skills that you have. The people at this table here today, what are they saying? We're not worried about ourselves. We're not worried about our children. We're worried about our children's children. As far as giving the best quality of life, not only in the United States, but in the world. Giving them the best education in the history of the world. Get the best innovations, as Duvi mentioned before, as far as patents that are taking place. Let them come to Ocean County. Let them thrive. And that's what we have to do. And that's why it's very important for us not only to come here today, but to say, you know something? When you leave, the most important thing is have that fire in your belly and say, you know something? We're going to make it better tomorrow. We're going to work hard. And you have to involve people. And that's why it's so important for us to be here today, to involve everyone and bring more people together and get involved in commerce and business and in opportunities and improving the quality of life of all of the people. And you don't just start with the top, you start with the people at the bottom. And everyone's together. And we all have to work together. Thank you.
Joe, Congressman.
Yeah, just super quick. One other trend that I've been seeing that we've been talking a lot about down in Congress is about supply chains. And, I think there's a lot of thinking that, that a lot of supply chain in this country is going to be kind of revisited in terms of that when we see how much we need to focus in on the resilience of our communities. We see how global supply chain challenges have affected us, whether that's agriculture, whether that's actual material like what we experience for personal protective equipment and other things like that. I think that that's going to create a lot of potential opportunities, but also some challenges as well for different businesses. So I just kind of throw that out there as something that I've been seeing a lot of different businesses that I've talked to are trying to get a sense of how they might be able to potentially use this for their best advantage as we try to think of potentially a kind of a renewed engagement in this kind of Buy America type of approach. So I just kind of throw that out there as something I've heard a lot about. And there's certainly a lot of enthusiasm for kind of a win-win. Allows us to be more resilient as a country, but also allows us to potentially support more businesses, more resources, things like that here in America rather than abroad. So it seems like potentially a place that has a lot of exposure.
Thank you, Congressman.
Okay. Duvi. I would like to point out twofold. One is for those entering the workforce, as Joe Vicari said about the vocational school we have over here in Ocean County, that I have a meeting Thursday to be able to meet with the superintendent and see how we could accelerate people to be able to benefit from it, especially from the Orthodox community and other minorities, and at the same time tap into that after COVID-19. What we find, and myself personally, dabbling in economic development for over a decade now, is that there's a very big, and I'm sure the Congressman and Deborah and people involved in the community affairs would appreciate me pointing out this, is that it's not, you don't need a diploma or a degree to be able to be successful. And there's a very big misinterpretation. People think that you have to go to college, education, and only so after you have $100,000, $70,000, $50,000, $250,000 debt, then you can go out to the workforce and start paying back and you're swimming against the waves. I just recently met someone who works for one of the local water companies from the state over here, or private, and he told me that he got his job and he took college and he owes $65,000 and it's taken him a few years to pay it back, and he didn't even need that qualification for his job. Today, in the new millennium world, as you see through COVID-19, through Zoom, through Amazon, but something we teach a lot in Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce, we started AmazonBootcamp.org. People could go there and see, they could take 2-day courses and see how they can start businesses in this, and they started successfully. There are a lot of ways you can empower yourself and be successful. Outsource. You can run a company in your pajamas today. You could sit around in your pajamas and have bookkeepers and distributors and innovation and private label products, or run your own business through the online areas, or et cetera, et cetera. Today the world is so broad. Just familiarize yourself with different opportunities to be able to empower yourself. You don't have to physically have an education. You could hire someone who has the education for a few pennies an hour. And by people really familiarizing themselves with the new business world, they can see how much money they could save, how many years of schooling they don't need. And not everyone is made to sit in school. People have ADD. People can't sit in classes. They can't do schooling, but they could be successful. And I think people should know they could be successful without going to college and spending years and money they don't have and going into debt by opening their eyes and looking around today's world and seeing how they can empower themselves. That's what Chamber of Commerce is here for. That's what all these different government and state and local business development programs or services are here to be able to guide you to a certain extent. But speak to your friends. Google. Go online and Google. How do I build an airplane? Do it. You'll find out. It doesn't have to just be a small thing, and you could really educate yourself. That's for the starting people entering the workforce in today's new, after COVID-19. That's something, and I feel that we should all support people. We should take away that pressure of people thinking you have a degree, you don't have a degree, and we should look at their qualifications. Look at the person, read the person, see what skills he has, see he could be good sales, he could be good at different things, and just embrace them for what they are. That's for the people hiring and for those entering the workforce. And one other thing is for businesses, what I find today, unfortunately, is that people don't update themselves with the new digital technology. They're still old school in business. They think, everyone knows me. They'll come to me. And before they have a chance to turn around, they're ready. They're 60s and they think they're going to retire, and they have a business. And right before they're ready to retire, they almost hit the peak, and all of a sudden, all the air comes out of the tires, and the business collapses because they don't have online. They don't have the right representation. They don't have proper websites. They're not up to date. And everything they built the whole life goes, and literally they lose everything, and it's very sad and it hurt and depressing on their end to be able to see a whole life built up and then just not being able to retire and be able and have to worrying about how they get paid their bills at such a stage of life. So I really encourage, and we did programs throughout COVID-19, online webinars, and helping businesses and people who weren't familiar with technology to be able to see how they could have a proper website, cost efficient, very cost efficient, what obligations they have to be able to bring their business up to par. And if people do that, and people opening businesses understand, of course, that is how important this is to be up to par, that will be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Duvi. We have one comment, and then I have one final question. And Ellie, you have a comment?
Thank you. Just to add to what the commissioner and Duvi has been saying, a little caveat, education is very important. And as Duvi was saying, to be able to provide the tools for people to be able to make a living is important, but we can't lose sight of the focus here, which is the local economic development. The problems that exist in New Jersey, the reason why Governor Murphy back in January signed into law the New Jersey Recovery Act, the reason we have this Economic Development Day is really about the local level. And why is it so important? It's so important because if commerce is not happening on the local level, then everything falls apart. The state needs the sales tax dollars. Locally, we need the tax revenue that's generated from the commerce happening. The cities need money to be able to invest into the city, right? When you shop locally, you're not only supporting the business owner that allows them to continue to live, you're supporting their employees. The employees now have money to go spend in another local business. The city's generating revenue that they can use to, make the roads pothole free, pay for the salt in the winter, make the parks nice, make it a place to live. We need those jobs. We need the money to be invested into the local economy. If everybody's running off to become an Amazon merchant, we are losing that money from the local level. So these programs are good, and everybody should be able to find what's best for them. But there needs to be a real focus, and New Jersey actually leads, the state of New Jersey is leading many other states that we are involved with in recognizing this and doing things with that mission. But at the end of the day, there really has to be now a hyper focus on supporting the small businesses and having the money that is earned within a city spent within that city.
Thank you, Oli. All right, so I have one more final question. This is it's a very serious topic, and it's very local to Ocean County. As many business owners who are in this room, they depend on employees, and they also depend on, employing and fulfilling their mission as a successful company over years. And there is a serious problem in Ocean County because we depend on tourism. We're in the tourism season, and they're having a very challenging time hiring. I see it in my industry, in the banking industry. I'm hearing it from business owners, especially in the restaurant and hospitality industry. I would like to ask our congressman who represents us on a state level. It's so important. We need the support. And you're in those circles, and also our Governor Murphy, Deputy Chief of Staff Deborah, if you could also maybe enlighten us on things that are happening or what these business owners can look forward to. It's so important as they're having challenging time finding applicants to fill open positions. Many employees are deciding not to work. They're deciding to collect. It's causing difficulties for existing companies strong to grow and prosper and to fulfill what Ellie just shared. What advice or solutions do you have? Has there maybe been a probe on the New Jersey Department of Labor for investigating to a degree those weekly questions on why they have not turned down, why people have turned down opportunity to work? I was unemployed for 8 months in the 2008 recession. I remembered I had to answer those questions honestly, and I had to work. But the other question is there a way to link those people applying for the jobs or applying for that benefit, the unemployment benefit, and getting the people looking to hire these people and see the access to see actually correlate if it's the same people, if you're actually able to see if they're from Ocean County, from a certain area, and these job hirers or these hires of these companies can see these are people I've offered jobs to. So anything on that we'd appreciate.
Thank you. Really, thank you for raising this because it's one of the top things that I've been hearing about talking to small businesses across the district. In fact, I was just talking to a restaurant and talking about how like a lot of their long-standing employees can't get them back to work, and they're offering good, safe jobs right now. And the system that we were trying to put into place that we started in a bipartisan way last year with the CARES Act, it wasn't meant to be abused, right? It was meant to be able to help keep those who really needed most to be able to get it. And it's about trying to make sure we're keeping them afloat, getting through this pandemic. But certainly there had been an element of it that I feel like has been extremely frustrating to see certain people try to game the system, try to do it in their own right. I don't know what sort of can be done on the state level. I know there are limitations because of just how old and archaic the unemployment system can be. So I'm curious to hear from the governor's team in terms of what can be done. I know for us, I sit on the Small Business Committee in Congress. I'm the only member of Congress from New Jersey on that committee, and it's a personal mission of mine to try to figure out what it is that we can do to move that forward. But and so we're trying to figure out if there are a couple of whether changes or things like that we can do on a federal level. The tricky thing is that every state has a very different unemployment insurance system. So to try to have some sort of component at a federal level that can navigate all the different elements and see what's doable, that's where we've been kind of running into the challenges. But we'd love to hear from the state level about, if there's anything that we can be doing to try to make it, the way I sort of see it is that try to make sure that the funds that we were pushing towards are getting to those who need it the most. Those that need it, of course, try to get there, but try to make sure that we're dealing with the level of fairness here in that process.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you.
So I think During the height of the pandemic, we were extremely lucky to have such a strong congressional delegation and the support of the federal government to provide immediate relief to people who, as was pointed out, are having trouble putting food on their plates and their families, feeding their families, paying utilities, paying rent or mortgage. And we're still very much in a crisis around those issues that we'll have to work on in the long run. And we have serious challenges ahead. But as we move out of that immediate relief into recovery, we have to consider what that shift means and how do we help people who are receiving immediate relief and emergency assistance come back into the workforce in a successful way. It's our belief and our assumption that the vast majority of people are doing this honestly and with integrity. At the margins, if there are people who are doing things we wish they won't, there are thorough investigations and checks and all of that that goes on. But the reasons that people aren't working right now are complex. For many people, it's childcare. Your children aren't back in school full-time. How do you have a full-time job if you have to be home 3 days a week or 2 days a week? Or your children's school may close because of quarantine. How do you do that reliably? And then there's fear. A lot of people still live with a very real amount of fear. A lot of people we know, people in this room, have lost a loved one, someone directly connected to your family, to COVID. And that fear of going back into the workforce, of possibly getting sick and being exposed or bringing that home to your family is real and it's palpable. So we as a community, as a state, and as a nation, I think, have to do a number of things to help people come back to work. We have to build confidence. We have to take care of their families writ large so they can be in the workplace and know their children are taken care of. That means supporting our daycare systems. That means supporting our reopening of our schools. And we're terribly grateful for the federal support for our schools that will allow them to implement the safety measures, the testing, and the strategies to be open fully. I think that we have to look at, as the commissioner said, job training and letting people maybe find new places and spaces to work and new models of work. And it will take time. I don't think that you can shut down an economy as we had to do for a pandemic and flip a switch and have it just go back to normal. The other thing I'll say is that we have to make sure people get their vaccines. As a state, we're doing very, very well with that. But those vaccinations are what provide personal protection and communal protection and allow you to go back into the workforce with confidence that you won't get very sick or bring home an illness to your family. And to that end, we've had a lot of discussions at the state level around businesses participating in promoting getting the vaccine, vaccinating your employees, and being proud of the fact that you're a workplace that vaccinates, that you support your employees getting vaccinated, and that you take pride in that, because through that you build confidence both for your employees and the consumers who come to visit you. So I think there's a complex picture of things we have to do. I think as confidence rebuilds, as fear diminishes, as our children are able to go back into daycare and into camp and to socialize and do play dates where we share our childcare collaboratively, all of these things will make it easier. But we do have this need to recover now, and that means being innovative and reimagining instead of going back to what we were doing, to carve a path forward, recognizing it will look different and it will take a little bit of time. And the great collaboration that you see here from municipal, county, state, and federal levels working together and in tandem. And also with our friends in chambers like Duvi.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Commissioner.
Just in conclusion, the way I see it in Ocean County is that people who work should not be penalized. And that's what it's coming down to. And there's no question about it. We do this with great compassion and with great empathy. If you cannot work, if there's an issue, well, you don't have to work. Stay home if you have a disability. But if you can work, we have thousands of jobs that are available in the economy of Ocean County. We need them to get back to work. Now, I heard the Commissioner, the Secretary of Commerce, she made a good point on TV several days ago when she said, well, you know something? Childcare is important. All of our schools are opening up. The vocational school in Ocean County never closed. We're there every single day. But look at the supply chain. Do you want food? Do you want gasoline? Do you want the hospital closed? Do you want other facilities to close down? When you buy food? When you go to different places to quality of life? That's our lifestyle. So if it can be done in a safe way, I understand Governor Phil Murphy, and he was absolutely correct. You wear a mask when you go out, social distancing, you must get a vaccine. We did all of that in Ocean County. Every single thing. Now it's time to say, you know something? Cut the risks down. But you have to go out. We have to open the economy. using the guidelines for CDC. There's no question about it. We have to do that. But you know what it's coming down to is that people have to reinvent themselves. They didn't overcome those fears. And if someone's afraid to go to work, just let them stay home until they feel comfortable. But we have put in operation everything humanly possible to get our economy back 100%. Full employment for all of the people. This is a stepping stone. So I think that's, you've been hearing today, we all speaking in the same voice. We all, working together. But the time is here. People want a livable wage. They should go back to work. They should be safe. It should be a livable wage. And there should be a further step to move up on that ladder. If you stay home, if you don't go to work, when is it going to change? It's not going to get any easier. It's not going to get any easier. It's going to get harder. So again, have confidence in yourself, believe in yourself, and remember, you have to improve yourself. And the way to do that is go out, take an opportunity, ask questions. We have the resources available in the County of Ocean. We have the offices of the state of New Jersey with Governor Phil Murphy. We have our Congressman that's here today, representatives from different communities. By Memorial Day, and when it comes by, let's get out there, let's go to work. And you know something? It's attitude. Smile. Look for the future. Stop complaining. Stop feeling sorry about yourself. Let's be happy. We're in America, the greatest nation in the world. You have opportunities. Believe in yourself. Believe in other people. But most of all, believe in your family. And I thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Okay, I want to thank each of our panelists for being here today, for dedicating your time to serving us. When you're networking today, visit these business owners, they're small business owners. Think though, how can you help them? Don't look after, when you're networking, it's work. That's why the word is in network. See how you can help others, and hopefully it comes back to you. Thank you from S.Toms River. Today is the second Monday of May, and we are successfully in Economic Development Day, New Jersey Economic Development Day, thanks to Duvi Honig, working with our local government and Governor Murphy. Yes, and we're going to take a picture of us. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy network, and the pizza should be here very soon. Thank you.